Then you go to the A7 again, and you introduce, hey, we're on an A note. Here's an A note. Then it goes up to, and that's like a little chromatic-y kind of thing. He goes from that A note to this F note. He goes F to F sharp, so it's 15 to 16 on the D string, to back to that A note, the 14th fret on the G string. So then he goes to the 16th fret to the 17th fret on the D string. So that whole pattern is those two notes with that note. Then he goes up a half step and plays. So then he walks up chromatically on the G string from 14, 15 to 16. So that whole thing is. So then right after he does that chromatic thing on the G string, he goes to the 14th fret to the 17th fret and pulls back off to the 14th fret on the G string. So then he goes, after he pulls that off, he goes to the 15th fret on the B string, to the 14th fret and the 17th fret on the E string. Again, the whole thing. And this is where he does the chromatic movement. So on that 17th fret, he just pulls off 4 notes. 17, 16, 15, 14. And then he goes down to the 17th fret of the B string. Again. And once he gets down there, he goes back to the E string and does a pull off from 15 to 14. So then he just walks down the scale on the B string from 17, 15, 14, and he goes down to the 16th fret of the G string. So that whole thing. And then he goes back to that 15 to 14, 15 pull off to 14 on the B string. Then he goes to the 16th fret again on the G string, but when he gets there, he doesn't hit the note. He hits it and bends it up a whole step. Okay, so the whole thing. Okay, so when he bends that up a whole step, he does kind of like a country thing. Now he's going. So he goes to that 14th fret on the E string, then he bends up again that 16th fret of the G string. Then he goes to the 17th fret. So it's. Then he bends it up again, 16th fret, whole step. But this time he grabs the 15th fret. Then he walks up the scale from 15, 17, 19. And when he hits that 19, he hits it again and goes, bends it up a whole step. So the whole thing is. And even in that bend, he may end up getting the double string in there where, like getting a little bit of that, not that much. But it's really aggressive. It's really great. Now, on that section, what he's doing, again, it's over the A7 chord at that point. And this whole thing, he's playing the A note, right? Then he has this, which is from the A, it's your minor 6 to major 6. So. Then he goes from the major 6 to the dominant 7. So there's that. You got your root, you're pivoting off of that the whole time, so you keep hearing that A note. Then you hear a 6th and a dominant 7 with, you know, with a minor and major 6 in between there. Then he walks up chromatically from the root to the flat 9 to the 9. So again, that root to 9, that's always a good thing. And then here you have your major 3rd to this note. which is your fifth, right? So you have a major third to a fifth. Then he starts doing all this kind of stuff, chromatically and everything. And here's your root and your dominant seventh again. Realistically, though, this comes straight out of A major pentatonic. With those notes thrown in there, chromatic notes, and those notes, right? Again, if you know your minor pentatonic, just move that down 3 frets, and your pinky will then be on the root of the major. So you got your A major pentatonic. So that's why that works so perfectly. Again, you're outlining the chord a lot with the dominant 7 and pivoting off that root note. And then when he walks up this, when you're doing that, you have your sixth, right? Your major 6. You're bending up actually to the major third. Then you pick the major 6 to the root, so you really have that going on. And then you walk up a scale, right? Very simple. Now let's get on to the last part. Then it goes back to a G chord, and that's when he just screams into these notes. You have and that's just bending the 9th of the G chord, which is the 17th fret, the A note, up to the B note, which is the 19th fret, and that'll give you your major third. So he's bending the 9th to the major third. So and then he just does this thing where he bounces back to that 15, from the 17 to 15 back to 17, and then he bends up the 15th fret to the 17th fret again. So it's, and then he bends down to that 15th fret. And then right before he goes into the rest of the lick, he kind of bends that up just slightly, like a quarter tone to a half step. And then he just pulls off from 15 to 12 on the E string and goes down to the 12th fret on the B string. So then he pivots off from the 15 of the E string to the 12 of the B string. So, and then he bends up a half step from the 14th fret of the E string. And he walks down the scale from the 12 on the E string, 15, 12 on the B string. Then he gets down to the 14th fret of the G string. Then he goes back up to the 15th fret to the 12th fret of the B string. So that whole thing. And pulls off. And then I don't know exactly what he does. So you're on your own. I'm just kidding. Then he does something in the realm of, or one of those things. He's playing around with these notes. And again, you can look at this all as E minor pentatonic, or playing over G chord, you're playing G major pentatonic. And you're just bending that 7th up to the root, the major 7th. And the reason why I think he lands on that G note at the end, again, you're emphasizing the G chord. All right, so that's the end of the lesson. It was pretty quick and painless, I think, I hope. There were a lot of really cool ideas, so what I would suggest is just, take those ideas and try and incorporate them into your own playing. Again, like just even the tapping thing, where you're tapping one note and you're phrasing and holding a note, then phrasing and holding another note, but keeping the tap consistent on certain notes. Really focus on outlining chords as far as wherever you're tapping, make that maybe the root of whatever chord you're playing over. Experiment with, the pentatonics and stuff. So if you're playing over a dominant chord, use that chord's major pentatonic. So if you're playing over C major, play C major pentatonic. And again, also same thing with like, even if you, one of the main things in this solo is, I mean, he's really digging into these strings when he's bending those notes. There's a lot of aggression going on, so really experiment with kind of trying to do that in your playing. Not all the time, you really don't want that, but if you notice in this solo, there's, you know, the tapping, even though it's aggressive, it's not crazy aggressive, but once he gets to those bends, especially that back on that G chord, I mean, it just sounds like he's really screaming. It's really cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I really wanted to get that in for the end of the year because I love that solo. I think it's really cool, and I really appreciate you guys watching. Hope you guys, again, have a happy New Year and Merry Christmas and all that kind of stuff. Check us out. Check out guitarbreakdown.com. There's a new video up there talking about you know, why things are taking a little longer on the website. It just kind of does. But I appreciate you guys sticking around and watching this stuff, and all the comments, all the friends I've met. Really glad that I got to meet you guys. You guys made this a great year. We got a lot of stuff coming up next year, so please stick around. Even a couple of weeks from now, maybe even the next video. I'm not sure when I'm going to post it, but check out the next few videos. We're going to have our first guest, and this guy's amazing, awesome. Somebody you guys know. Played with some big acts and stuff. We've done a lesson on him before, so you guys are going to really like this. So I hope you guys stick around. We're going to have a lot of fun with it. And also, you know, as always, click subscribe if you haven't. Like. All that stuff helps us know that you guys like this stuff and you want to see more. Comments, emails, all that good stuff. I will stop talking. But again, really appreciate you all, and thanks for stopping by, and I will see you on the next lesson. Thanks, guys.